An ordinary shopping trip spirals into chaos. Two cops move in, convinced they've caught a black woman committing larceny, but what they didn't know was that she carried a secret no one saw coming. But before we dive in, tell me, where in the world are you watching from? Drop it in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you won't miss the next part of this shocking story tomorrow. Rain blurred the neon grocery sign into a halo. The doors sighed and a woman in a gray hoodie stepped through, canvas tote on her shoulder, list folded tight. The receipt would say Maya Brooks. The badge hidden beneath cotton said something else. She walked like any shopper, yet her gaze skimmed mirrors and blind spots, razors locked in plastic, chargers stacked low where domes missed, vitamins along a shelf with a 2-foot dead zone. She filled her tote with coffee, towels, baby formula. At the razor case, a teen clerk rattled keys. She smiled, chose the cheapest pack, and watched reflections confirm who watched her. At self-checkout, she scanned and bagged. The formula barcode refused to read. She tapped assistance, counted to 15, and nobody came. She set the can in the tote, slid the towels over it, paid for the rest. The exit gate blinked green, then flashed red. Heads turned. A manager in a windbreaker lifted a palm. A plain suit hovered near batteries. "Ma'am." "1 second, the manager said. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Random check. Happens all the time." He already looked relieved. "Receipt?" She handed it over. The absence screamed. 2 uniformed officers cut past greeting cards toward the doors, radios hissing rain. Officer Leary arrived first, thick as a vault. Officer Chen followed, lean, eyes fast. "Store says unpaid item," Leary said. "Let's talk inside." "I can pay right here," Maya answered. "Office," the manager insisted, opening the employee's only door. The room smelled like burnt coffee and rules. A computer blinked pop-ups. The manager pointed at the tote. "We'll take a look." Leary kept his hands visible. "ID, please." Maya handed a laminated card. Same face, different hair. Name matched the receipt. Address meant nothing. Chen ran it. Expired license. No warrants. The manager reached for the tote. Maya set a palm on the cart handle. "I'll lift each item." "Fine." Towels on the desk. Coffee beside them. Cheap razors next. The formula stayed, bright under harsh light. Leary glanced at a dusty camera, then back at the tote. "It didn't scan," Maya said. "I flagged it. Nobody came." "You left the register," the manager said. "That's concealment." "It's procedure failure," she replied. Leary paged through a binder. "Either way, we write it up." "I don't work for the store," Leary added. "I work for the city." Maya measured their stance. How Leary settled when he expected anger. How Chen used the desk corner for angles. Solid, by the book, risky if the rest of the night arrived on schedule. Over the intercom, a voice reported a jammed loading dock. Forklifts would reroute through the front. The manager swore and left. "Ring it now," Maya said, lifting the can. "I pay. We go home." Leary checked the tabs. None said mercy. "We still need to process." "Then do it fast," she said, offering her wrists. "We're not there yet," Chen warned. "You are," she answered, because crowds were coming, and a slim boy at sunglasses had pocketed a blue cap while studying the mirror. Bad actors love crowds. The door would need eyes that understood pressure. Leary sighed, pulled cuffs, and read rights. "Do you understand?" "I do." She turned her hand so the cuffs faced front. Metal clicked. Chen's eyes softened a fraction. Leary seated her. Dispatch murmured about quick grabs up the strip. Same sedan, same timing. Umbrella with silver ribs. "Crew?" Chen asked. "Could be," Leary said. Lights flickered. Rain hardened. Sliding doors hissed. Crowd noise rose and fell. The manager burst in. "Someone pulled the fire alarm. The door won't reset. People are pushing for the exit." Leary stood. "Stay here," he told Chen. Then left. Sirens wailed somewhere far. Maya shifted, wrists grinding in steel. "Listen." "I'm listening," Chen said, thumb near his mic. 2 teens near sunglasses, one in a blue cap. "They're probing. A woman in a yellow slicker is filming the front. The crew will sweep during confusion and run to a gray Civic with a dented trunk, parked facing out near the cart return." Chen glanced at the window. "You saw that while we argued about a can?" "I was shopping." "You talk like a detective." "Sometimes I think like one." Hooks crashed in the hall. Somebody yelled about refunds. A child sobbed. Leary's voice tried to be everywhere at once. "How sure?" Chen asked. 90. "You could be wrong." "I could be." He keyed the mic. "Unit 12 inside grocer. Possible organized retail crew. Eyes to lot for gray Civic. Dented trunk facing out. Alarm pulled. Managing crowd." Across the glass, the woman in yellow tilted her phone, narrating for strangers who love drama more than facts. The cuffs cooled her wrists. Beneath the hoodie, A hidden badge lay warm against bone. She watched the lens, then the latch, then Chen's shoes. A teen banged on the window, waving a receipt. "They're not letting us out," he shouted, eyes jumping to the mirror. Chen cracked the door, scanned the front, then shut it, jaw tight. "Officer," Maya said softly. "What?" "When the crowd surges, don't stand in the funnel. Angle left of the greeting cards rack. Sightlines without becoming a target. You train patrol now?" I read space. Blue cereal rolled past like marbles. The intercom droned evacuation tones. Half the store drifted toward daylight. Half argued. Every second mattered more than noise. Leary crackled on the channel. "Sweep at the front. 3, maybe 4. Male in yellow hoodie, female in slicker. Vehicle could be gray Civic," Chen finished, then keyed. "Lot units confirm plate direction." Wind shredded the reply. "Unit 4 eyes on gray Civic, dented trunk. Engine running." Chen looked at Maya. "Lucky guess. Educated guess," she said. He frowned at the cuffs. "Stay put. Do not move." "I'm cuffed," she answered. Rain striped the glass. Doors stuttered. Alarms lied. People gathered like weather. The storm stepped across the threshold, and the night finally began to do what she had come for. The evacuation tones yelped in mechanical bursts, a flat bleat that made nerves vibrate. Chen cracked the office door a sliver again. Fluorescent glare from the sales floor knifed in. Beyond the greeting cards, displays pitched at angles, a cardboard tower of cereal shedding boxes like confetti. The yellow slicker woman held her phone vertical, panning. Her narration floated back thin through the glass. "Police are here, but nobody's moving." Maya shifted the cuffs to ease a tendon burning across her wrist bones. Front lock gave her hands just enough travel to gesture, not enough to be dangerous in most people's minds. "You'll get flanked if you step straight out," she said. "Sightlines are good from the left end cap. Use the impulse cooler as cover." Chen's gaze flicked from the door to her hands to her eyes. "Noted," he said, tone neutral. He keyed the mic. "Unit 12 moving to left end cap by greeting cards for eyes on crowd." A swirl at the registers caught Maya's attention. 3 figures drifting not with the flow but against it. Blades of grass leaning wrong in a wind. One was narrow-hipped, yellow hoodie up, chin tucked. One was wider, shoulders set like a door. The third skimmed close to bodies, eyes never lifting above belts. They knew how to pull merch while making it look like they held people steady. The big one tapped the register counter twice. "Signal, not nerves." "Cruise inside," Maya said. "They're staging chaos near the anti-return spikes." "The what?" "The rubber teeth at the threshold that don't let carts come back in. People trip there. Easy to turn a stumble into a spill and grab." Leary's voice crackled over radio. "Lot unit reports Civic rolling." Chen grimaced. He spoke low into the mic. "Keep eyes on Civic. Do not spook. We have crowd in motion inside." Maya stood from the plastic chair. Metal bit her skin. She angled her shoulders to hide the cuff chain from the window in case an opportunist decided a restrained woman meant easy leverage, a bargaining chip for viral fame. "You still want me in here when they push?" she asked. "You're detained," he said automatically. "Detained doesn't mean locked in a broom closet while your partner gets overrun," she countered, equally controlled. "Let me walk 2 paces behind you on your right. If someone barrels, I can pivot weight without breaking your line." Chen blinked at that. Cop math, spoken by a civilian on paper. He didn't answer. He cracked the door wider, slid to the left end cap as she'd suggested, and took in the picture. To his credit, he flowed around a rack with knees bent, head still. He gave himself an angle that saw both the door and the first 6 registers. "Good instincts. On me," he said into radio. "We're going to ease the bottleneck. Manager, pop 1 more lane." Crowd control voice, "No threats." "Leary, status." "Working the vestibule." Came Leary, breath in the words. "Got a stroller stuck on the spikes," Dad's panicked. "Yellow slicker is in my face." Of course she is, Maya thought. The manager hustled past the office and nearly slammed into Chen's shoulder. "We can't open another lane. Systems think the building is in fire mode." "Then stand on a checkout and tell them to line up single file on the right," Chen said. "Get your loudest calm voice." The man looked at him as if he'd been handed a trumpet and told to play hymns. Right, yes." He scrambled toward a register, climbed on the rubber mat and cupped his hands. "Folks, right side only, right side only." His pitch cracked. He did it again, steadier. "Right side only. We will clear you." Lines began to form. Imperfect, but better than churn. Yellow hoodie slipped behind a woman arguing at the returns counter, hand vanishing under her tote. Wide shoulders bumped an elderly man into the candy rack. Slim fingers ghosted a hand under a raincoat and came out with an unopened phone case, flicking it inside his sleeve. "Chen," Maya warned. 3 o'clock. Hoodie near returns. Big guy creating screens. Thin one working sleeves. They'll pivot toward the vestibule when you commit. He didn't turn his head. I see two, he murmured. Thin one's low. Watch the sunglasses mirror, she said. You'll catch his crown. He stole the glance. There, hair parting the wrong way through a moving crowd reflection. He keyed. Unit 12, eyes on 3 suspects near returns. Leary, how's your funnel? Stroller free, spikes clear. Yellow slickers narrating my pores. Hold her outside the vestibule line. Do not let her plant in the center. A cereal box skidded underfoot near cards, nearly taking out a man with a cane. Maya stepped instinctively, swept the box aside with her sneaker, and slotted back behind Chen's shoulder without touching him. The cuff chain tapped once against her zipper. Nobody outside the office noticed. Yellow hoodie cut toward the door as if pulled by a magnet. The big man drifted between Yellow and Chen, hands skimming racks, taking nothing now, just shaping space. Slim fingers tucked a second phone case and a row of battery packs under his belt. He never looked at his hands, only at the space ahead. Now, Maya said. Chen moved. Not a charge, a slice. He slid to the edge of the impulse cooler, planted his left foot, extended his right hand palm out, and used voice the way good cops do when bodies move badly. Right side, single file, keep moving. He stole a half step to keep Yellow hoodie on his right shoulder where he could pin against the cooler if needed. Yellow hoodie tried to dart between racks. Maya cut the inside angle with a small shuffle, body square, hands down, giving Thomas the trained smile to any camera that might be watching. Look, we're all friends, she murmured to the hoodie in the tone of a grocery clerk asking about coupons. Mind the puddle. The kid glanced for a puddle that wasn't there. 1 second of mental footwork. Chen's right palm touched the kid's sleeve, a polite stop that carried steel under it. Hold up, he said. Wide shoulders pivoted to collide. Maya rotated her hip, let his vector slide past her rib cage without gifting him a grip on cloth, and placed the toe of her sneaker on the bar of his leading shoe. He stumbled forward 2 inches, just enough to turn shoulder aggression into a graceless stumble. His hands went out to catch a rack. Gum and chapstick rattled. Slim fingers snapped left into an opening like water finding a crack. He aimed for the vestibule. Leary loomed there now, feet wide, forearm up, a human revolving door. Back in line, Leary said, voice level. Slim fingers hesitated, eyes skittering. The Civic's engine, outside, gave a petulant rev. Yellow Slicker's phone lens drank everything. They're grabbing kids. They're pushing people, she barked for the feed. Comments would brew like a fever. None of it real, all of it sticky. Manager, Chen called. Announce outside line is moving faster, shift momentum. The manager pumped his arms as if conducting traffic. Outside right lane is faster. Outside right lane. He was, miraculously, not terrible at this. Yellow hoodie tried the classic, sag like you're fainting, then slide past when the hand on your arm loosens. Chen anticipated it. He let the kid sag, pivoted his contact point from elbow to wrist, and guided him into the gap between the cooler and the returns counter. Breathe, he said. Then into the mic, one held, non-violent. Wide shoulders finally found his balance and chose the worst possible move, a shove to Maya's shoulder because she was just a shopper, in a hoodie and cuffs that looked like bracelets in a glance. He didn't see her set her stance or the way she turned her torso to make the impact ride across bone instead of muscle. He hit, she absorbed, she stepped with it and gave a half circle of energy back, just enough momentum redirection to sit him on the rubber mat bordering the register. No flourish, no strike. The crowd saw a big guy slip on his own hurry. Slim fingers panicked and committed to the gap. Leary's left hand dropped to the bar of the man's belt and held, not yanked, just held, while his right forearm indexed across the clavicle line without choking. Not today, Leary said into Slim's ear in the tone of a football coach redirecting a kid in the wrong drill. From the lot radio sang, Civic rolling to the far exit east side, 2 occupants, 1 masked. Chen answered, do not engage high speed, plate, partial, 7-4K, snowflake sticker on bumper. Copy, Chen said, then to Yellow hoodie. You're going to breathe right here until my partner clears the door. Yellow hoodie's eyes were glassy. Up close he was younger than his swagger, a baby peach fuzz trying to be a beard. He smelled like rain, plastic and nerves. I didn't do anything, he muttered. You almost did, Chen said. A ripple of human frustration built at the edge of the vestibule where spikes and wet tile conspired. Someone yelled that they had a flight to catch. Another shouted about rights. The chorus was a familiar bad hymn. Yellow Slicker kept preaching to her camera, selling drama by the pound. Maya shifted half an inch. The cuff chain sang again, soft metal against metal. Yellow Slicker's lens drank it. Her narration sharpened. They've cuffed a black woman shopper while thieves walk out. Perfect, Maya thought, and ruinous. A frame like that could bury nuance under a mountain of outrage. Chen, she said low, I'm going to your right. 2 paces. Don't react. Negative, he murmured. If I don't move, someone uses me as a flag. I'll block the lens and give Leary room. He didn't answer fast enough. A man with a red cap shouldered in, angling a hard case toward Chen's ribs, a makeshift battering ram. Maya stepped into the gap, turned sideways, and let the case ride along her forearm instead of smashing Chen's hip. The blow stung. She grunted and smiled at Red Cap, as if he'd grazed her with a shopping bag. Careful, she said, sugar over steel, wet floor. Red Cap faltered, thrown by kindness where crime expected bark. He muttered and backed into the line he'd tried to skip. Leary started a slow clap. 1, 2, ridiculous, risky. But the crowd, starved for any cue that felt like a script, picked it up. Applause stuttered, then steadied. The line actually moved. Outside is clear. A lot unit radioed. Civic circling. Might reapproach. Chen gave Maya a look that was half accusation, half thanks. You're not helping your case, he said, but his voice lacked heat. My case can wait 10 minutes, she said, and meant it. The big man on the mat surged again, aiming to bulldoze. This time he wasn't alone. Another shape slipped out from cosmetics, hoodie deep, face shadowed, hands hidden. The angle of his shoulders screamed weapon. Not a gun, not here, but something heavy that could split scalp or collar. He came in fast, eyes locked on Chen's temple. Maya saw it first. The arc, the timing, the place where intervention wouldn't look like assault on a cop or a suspect, but like a correction of physics. She exhaled, sent her weight through her planted foot, and glided that weight into the floor with a pivot that looked like courtesy. The hooded newcomer's swing didn't meet skull. It kissed the lip of the impulse cooler as Maya redirected his forearm with the inside of her wrist. The heavy object, a hardened flashlight wrapped in grip tape, thudded the metal edge and bounced. He lost half a step, then his balance. She let him keep his dignity by not dumping him outright, just borrowing his momentum long enough to set him against the returns counter where gravity finished the lecture. Chen filled the space she'd opened. His palm planted on the counter, his body angled to protect the customer's lane and his own head. Hands where I can see them, he said to the hooded man, calm, clipped. The man's eyes flicked to Maya. The hoodie, the cuffs, the unbothered face and confusion cracked his mask. He showed empty palms, posture leaking fight. Leary herded slim fingers and the big man toward a pillar, using voice first, elbow second. Right there, breathe. Nobody wants a charge that sticks longer than rain. Slim fingers hissed something about rights. Leary nodded as if the complaint were a map. You'll get all your rights, starting with the one that lets you not add resisting. Yellow Slicker's lens hunted drama, found Maya's cuffs again, and locked in. Look at this, she told the feed. They've got a black woman in cuffs helping them because they grabbed the wrong person. Comments bubbled. Free her / classic profiling, sue the city. The narrative was writing itself while truth tried to lace its boots. Maya angled her shoulder, letting the chain hide behind the fold of her hoodie. She didn't need to be the story. She needed the story to land right enough that nobody bled. She bent, picked up the dropped flashlight with 2 fingers, and set it on the counter out of easy reach. This belongs to customer service now, she said lightly. The manager, to his credit, had found a cadence. Right lane only, please. Keep your receipts visible, and we will get you out. He wasn't a commander, but he had a schoolteacher's persistence. People obeyed structure when it showed up wearing confidence. Outside, rain softened to pins instead of nails. The Civic idled under the glow of a distant lamppost, wipers ticking a metronome. A lot unit murmured over the channel. 2 inside the car, 3rd pacing. Plate confirmed 74K, last digit obscured. Hold soft, Chen answered. We've got hands full inside. The hooded newcomer tested Maya with a half-step, a look that asked what she was. She gave him nothing theatrical, no square-up, no threat, just the exact stillness of someone who understood angles. Something in that quiet made him reconsider. He eased back. Yellow hoodie shifted against the cooler, watching Chen's face like a watch for tells. Teen, maybe 17, fear lacquered under swagger. Am I under arrest? He asked. Detained, Chen said. There's a difference. The teen looked at Maya. He's nicer when you're around. I'm boring when things are calm, she said. Boring's not bad, Leary added, guiding the big man to sit again. Boring is the opposite of court. The manager's voice faltered as 2 carts tangled near the spikes. Maya slid 3 steps, set her shoulder against the rear corner of one cart, and twisted it free with a torque that used steel, not muscle. There you go, she told the frazzled dad. He blinked, recognized competence without labels, and breathed thanks. Unit 4, Civic circling clockwise to west exit, the lot radio said. Mask went to back seat. Might bail on foot. Copy, Chen replied. Keep distance. Don't drive failure. Yellow Slicker found her new line. Police letting thieves go while they harass mothers and detain innocent women. Her voice had velocity now, feeding a machine that never got full. Maya checked the returns counter mirror. A reflection there caught movement at the far freezer aisle. A shadow where no one should hide, lingering at a fire door. The shadow's arm moved in tight circles, a knife wipe or a cord wind. Not a customer behavior. She lifted her chin. Chen, freezer aisle, fire door. Someone setting a stage. He looked only with his eyes. Got it. Manager, Maya called, not loud, just aimed. Your freezer fire door sensors work? He blinked. They should. Then they just earned their paycheck, Chen said. Leary, on me. We're walking to freezer slow. Keep line moving. Leary pressed slim fingers against the pillar with a forearm, exchanged a glance with a lot unit at the door, and nodded once. Don't wander, he told his pair. He fell in with Chen, covering the back. Maya eased 2 paces parallel, keeping the crowd between her and Yellow Slicker's lens without losing sight of the freezer run. She kept her cuffed hands down, palms open, the picture of a patient shopper who happened to be in the worst line in town. They drifted past overloaded end caps and a jungle of impulse buys. The freezer door's red bar glowed like a cardinal in snow. The shadow at the end saw them coming and tried to fold into the corner, too tight to hide. Stay right there, Chen called, not sharp, just a wall-shaped tone, hands visible. The man stepped out, palms up, a customer's smile plastered across a runner's quads, looking for peas. In a fire door, Leary said. The man shrugged. Shortcuts. Open your jacket, Chen said. He did. Inside hung nothing, no bulge, no blade, no bottle. But his pockets rode oddly high, cinched with an inner draw cord that would dump contraband if he wanted to be clean fast. Turn around, Chen added. He obeyed, then twitched like a sprinter on a false start. Maya shifted weight, ready, but he suppressed the flinch and settled. Chen's hands were quick and professional. A small magnet key taped behind a label fluttered out like a dead moth. Store locks, Leary said, eyebrows up. Where'd you get that? Found it, the man said. Sure, Chen replied, bagging it. Into the mic. Located key device, likely used for RF tags and locks. Freezer door intact, returning to front. As they turned, movement rippled along aisle 6. 2 figures that didn't match the weather or the shopping patterns peeled from vitamins toward cosmetics, eyes cutting for exits. The Civic's pacer had friends inside or just nerve. Either way, the rhythm changed again. Front, Maya said softly, and they were already moving that way. At the greeting cards, energy tightened into a knot. Yellow Slicker had found a new antagonist, an older woman in a floral coat who didn't want to be filmed. Voices pitched high, then higher. Hands waved. The phone's lens went shaky. These moments were Tinder. One shove and the whole stack lit. Maya stepped into the triangle before it locked. She put her cuffed hands between faces like an introduction. Let me be the boring thing you talk to, she told Yellow Slicker with a smile that didn't show teeth. What's your name? Why? Slicker snapped, but she wavered. Attention redirected, algorithm appeased. So I can say it instead of ma'am when I ask you to stand 6 inches left for your own safety, Maya said. Anything happens, it'll be right here at the funnel. You want a clean shot? Angle that way, the light's better. The videographer moved on instinct, seeking the better angle like water seeking downhill. She slid where Maya pointed. The old woman exhaled and clutched her coat, gratitude hidden under a frown. One ember flicked out. Yellow Hoodie tested the cooler gap again. Chen's fingers tightened on his sleeve. Still detained, he reminded. Why her? The kid nodded at Maya. Why she cuffed? Because sometimes the first story is the wrong one, Chen said, which was both evasive and true. Radio popped. Civic just dropped a third at the west curb. Hoodie, gray sweatpants, black backpack. He's walking. No, jogging toward the pharmacy entrance. Copy, Chen answered. Eyes on west curb runner. Maya pictured the map. Big Box's western side had those automatic pharmacy doors that lagged a full second slower than the main set. If runner timed it, he could slip in as a customer exited with a prescription and be halfway to the back room before anyone clocked it. From there, a cut through the employee corridor spit into the loading dock where alarms already lied. She pointed. Pharmacy doors lag. Your runner will try that seam. Chen caught the implication. Unit outside. Hold the pharmacy vestibule. Stand right of the door, not directly in front. Don't get pinned by the glass. If he jukes, let him juke into the wet tile. Copy, came a steady voice. Leary's 2 slim fingers, and the big man shifted against the pillar again, nerves fizzing into motion. Leary dropped his tone to the range. Angry dogs respect. Don't, he said, and they didn't. The manager, sweating through his collar, approached Maya with a scanner cradled like a flute. I fixed the lane command, he announced, wild pride in the words. It'll clear faster now. He looked at her cuffs, then at Chen. Words formed and died behind his teeth. Good, Chen said. Keep your pattern. You're doing fine. The line moved. The crowd lost 5% of its heat. In nights like this, 5% was a feast. At the threshold, the anti-return spikes glistened under a glaze of mud. A toddler swung a plastic sword. His mother negotiated with candy. A man with a white-knuckled grip on a bouquet shuffled forward as if his apology depended on the exit working. Every face held a separate movie. Near sunglasses, the teen who'd shoved earlier reappeared, hands deep in pockets, gaze hot with embarrassment curdled into bravado. He locked on Maya and drifted closer, bumping shoulders as if crowds had wronged him. You with them? He muttered. I'm with ending the line, she said. You look like cuffs. You look like choices. He snorted, but the edge dulled. You talk like my auntie. She sounds wise. She loud, he said, but his mouth twitched. Something hissed, rubber on tile, fast. From cosmetics, a woman in a raincoat slid sideways, unexpectedly agile, a compact mirror clattering behind her as decoy. Her hand cut toward the electronics cage with purpose. Not crew, something else, a freelancer riding chaos. She shoved past the teen, clipped Maya's hip, reached for the cage lock with a ring pull that held a tiny magnet. Not as good as the taped key Chen had bagged, but good enough on cheap hardware. Hey, Maya said, a single word wrapped in a tone people obey when they've been told all their lives not to. The woman's head snapped. Their eyes met. All the momentum in the world took a breath. Maya didn't lunge. She lifted her hands, the chain glinting once. Don't make your night longer than it already is. For one beat, the woman's jaw worked. Then she dropped the ring pull. It pinged the tile like a penny. She melted back into the current and was gone, swallowed by umbrellas and apologies. Yellow slicker, chasing heat, missed it completely. Unit outside, radio breathed. Runner at pharmacy vestibule, he saw me. He's veering east now toward the garden center gate. Garden center gates chained, Leary said. Top chains loose, Maya added. Garden center kids hate padlocks after close, they loop it lazy. Chen didn't question how she knew. Hold east garden gate, he ordered. 2 to that corner. Don't chase into the dark rows. Keep him lit. Lot units answered with the confidence of people who'd done this dance before. Light spilled toward the chain link. Shadows stuttered. The Civic's engine finally gave up its idle and rolled slow, like a shark deciding whether the chum was worth the hook. Plate glinted. Spray misted from tires. The pacer at the curb cursed the weather, the police, the coordination, everything but his own plan. Inside, the human river had calmed to a brook. The last surge bled out through the right lane. The anti-return spikes looked almost gentle without feet on them. Maya exhaled once, a quiet recalibration. Her wrists ached where steel met tendon. She didn't ask to be uncuffed. That wasn't tonight's victory. Tonight was a game of inches, choices and pressure released without headlines. Chen's radio crackled. Garden gate held. Runner stopped. No injury. Civic peeled. Northbound. We've got plate and dash cam. Copy, Chen said, letting some breath reach his words at last. He looked at Maya fully for the first time since they'd left the office. There was a question in his eyes that wouldn't fit on a report. Leary returned to the pillar, checked his two, and lifted an eyebrow at Chen. You seeing this too? Chen gave the fraction of a nod that meant we'll talk later. The manager, emboldened, hopped down from the checkout and in the same motion almost slipped. Maya caught his elbow, steadied him, and returned his scanner. You did fine, she said. He blinked, then laughed the terrified laugh of a man who's been playing captain and survived. I sell soup, he said. I didn't sign up for this. Tonight you sold order, she replied. He seemed to file that somewhere he could reach it next time. A beat of quiet settled, fragile, pocket-sized, real enough to hold for 3 breaths. Then a new voice from the entryway knifed through. Why is she in cuffs? Yellow slicker pivoted, lens hungry. Heads turned, the quiet buckled. Maya lifted her chin, shoulders squared, eyes steady. She didn't smile. She didn't blink. She let the question hang in the fluorescent air, unclaimed by rumor, waiting for the right answer to arrive. The office door clicked shut and trimmed the night to a square of rain on glass. Chen set the incident form between them. Leary parked by the jamb, half in, half out, keeping one eye on the vestibule where cones dried and the last customers drifted. State your name for the record, Chen said. Maya Brooks, she answered, steady. Address on the card you gave us. She recited it. He noted it, eyes flicking once to the cuffs he'd moved to the front. Tell me what happened at the register. I scanned my items, she said. The formula wouldn't read. I hit assistance. No one came. I covered it in my tote so it wouldn't roll and intended to pay when the lock opened. I walked toward the exit because my lane froze. She let the manager's printout sit there like a witness. The manager cleared his throat. The video shows the prompt, he admitted. Our staffing was light in self-check. That's on me. Ryu is watched without blinking, hands tucked in her jacket, And the alarm, she asked. The fire system glitched when the dock jammed, the manager said. Someone pulled a manual lever in the commotion. We're fixing it. Radio crackled from Leary's shoulder. Traffic cam relay, Civic stopped at Alder Underpass, foot bail, one detained. Driver fled into the lot behind the pawn shop. We recovered tagged electronics in the back seat. Copy, Ryu said. Hold outside perimeter. K9 en route. Keep the line soft. She returned to Maya. Anything else we should know before we finalize? Maya looked at Chen first, then at Ryu's. She measured the room's temperature, low boil, not fire, and chose her timing. Yes, she said calmly. I need this part off camera. She tilted her head toward the window where the yellow slicker's lens occasionally ghosted past like a moth. Ryu nodded at Leary. He stepped out, spoke to a uniform, and the frosted film on the office glass slid down like a shade. The window turned milky. The room belonged to them. Maya took a breath, slipped 2 fingers beneath her hoodie hem, and lifted just enough cotton to show a black leather wallet badge nested against her ribs. The shield gleamed once in the fluorescent hum. She didn't hold it high. She held it right toward the supervisor who knew how to look. Captain Maya Brooks, she said softly. Metro Organized Retail Crime Task Force. Off duty by schedule, on duty by assignment. Working an external assessment on the crew you almost boxed at your door. The room took a fraction of a second to adjust. The manager's mouth opened and closed. Chen didn't move at all, but his pupils tightened, the file of questions in his head resorted. Ruiz didn't blink. She extended an open palm. Credential number, Ruiz said. Maya recited a string. Ruiz pulled her phone, thumbed a code into an app only supervisors carry, waited for a green bar, got it and exhaled through her nose. Confirmed. Chen's pen hovered above the form. You couldn't disclose in the moment. I couldn't blow an active pattern in the middle of a surge with a camera 2 feet away, Maya said. I expected to be in my car 10 minutes after the scan issue, texting your watch commander from the lot with times, faces, and routes. Then the dock jammed, the alarm lied, and your Civic skipped the script. Here we are. Leary rubbed his jaw, a rueful grin ghosting there. You let me read you and wrote your own play instead. I let you do your job while I did mine, she said. No showboating, no cape. Chen's ears went a shade darker, the only sign he took it personal for a beat. You also let us cuff you. I needed you focused on the crowd, not on the woman arguing procedure, Maya said. Flexibility is a tactic. Besides, the scan failure is real. The policy gap is real. If I can't weather the optics I ask civilians to endure, I'm in the wrong chair. The manager stared at the badge, then at the printout, shame and relief wrestling behind his glasses. If I had answered the call button, it's a storm and a skeleton crew, Maya said, not unkindly. Fix it tomorrow. Tonight you helped us not turn a grocery store into a stampede. Ruiz folded her arms. Captain Brooks, my officers made good calls under mixed facts. You were cooperative to a fault. We can resolve your detention with a field release and a notation. Assistance requested, unserved, item unpaid at time of contact, intent to pay expressed, no flight, release to supervisory verification. Your tasking stays your business, but I'll need a brief for the watch log. You'll have it, Maya said. Radio tapped again. K9 on scene, 1 in custody at pawn lot. Driver ditched a mask and 2 RF wands. Photo to units. Chen angled the incident form toward Maya. Your statement, he said, as detailed as you can be without compromising your assignment. She dictated clean. Times, positions, descriptions. The yellow slicker filming. The teen in the cap. The magnet ring at the electronics cage. The freezer door loiterer. The garden gate loop. No adjectives, just edges and distances. Chen wrote fast. Pen neat even when his brain ran hot. Leary rested against the door and smirked at a memory. That pivot on the flashlight guy, who taught you that? A woman twice my size with a smile like a teacher and hands like a locksmith, Maya said. First week out of academy. Gonna need a clinic, Leary muttered, for the new kids, and the old. Ruiz's phone buzzed. She scanned, jaw easing. Traffic confirms the Civic matches video from 2 other hits this week. Rental out of Riverside. They'll hold it on the lot until a warrant lands. The manager flinched. I suppose the stream will say we let them go. The stream will say what it needs to say to stay fed, Ruiz replied. We'll write what stands when playback cools. From the hallway, a knock. Yellow Slicker's voice filtered through the half door with its practiced outrage. Why are you hiding her? What's the charge? People want answers. Ruiz didn't sigh. She simply looked at the door like a problem to sequence. We won't feed that on the floor, she said. We finish this, then we talk outside with the calm we just bought. Chen slid the form across. Initial here. Maya signed. Chen added his line. Leary witnessed. Ruiz stamped the time. Procedure. The rope you climb out on. Chen cleared his throat. Captain, If I had known, you treated me like a member of the public with a problem and a mouth, Maya said. That's the standard. Don't apologize for doing it well. A beat. And thank you for not standing in the funnel. He almost smiled. Good tip. They stepped back into the vestibule together. The cones were drying islands now, the spikes visible, honest. The nurse had gone. The skateboard kid had tucked his board under his arm like a guitar. The teen in the yellow hoodie lingered near the gum rack, eyes everywhere and nowhere. Yellow Slicker raised her phone instantly. There she is. Ruiz beat the narrative to the mic. She stood where store cams and phones would both catch her. Update for everyone, she said. The crowd has cleared safely. An organized theft crew attempted to exploit the alarm. We detained individuals inside and coordinated with officers outside. A suspect vehicle fled. Another suspect was detained at the garden gate. Additional evidence was recovered from a stopped car. There's no ongoing danger in the store. What about the woman in cuffs? Slicker demanded. Ruiz kept her tone even. A customer was detained during the confusion for a scan error that appears to stem from an assistance lag. That will be documented and handled appropriately. No further comment on her situation. So you were wrong, Slicker pressed. We were careful, Ruiz said. And we stayed careful. That's why everyone is walking out on their own feet. The camera's hunger softened. Just a notch. People like exits more than controversy when their hands are full of milk and bread. The teen in the hoodie sidled up to Maya with a conspirator's courage. You gonna be okay? I'll be fine, she said. You too? He shrugged, then nodded, the way boys do when a night took something from them and gave back a thought. Yeah, good choice back there, she said, and meant the dozen almost mistakes he didn't make. He flushed, surprised to be seen, and ghosted out into the rain. The manager hovered near, eyes darting. We'll comp the formula, he blurted, then immediately looked like he wanted to unsay it. I mean policy. Maya spared him. Ring it properly, she said. I'll pay. She took the can from the desk like it weighed nothing and everything. And fix your call button. He nodded hard. First thing. Leary peeled his gloves. Sarge, I'll run the detainees, he said. Juvenile first, adult after. We'll keep it boring. Music to my ears, Ruiz said. Chen walked Maya toward the door, stopping just shy of the threshold where phones met weather. Captain Brooks, he said, quieter than the rain. If you ever want to teach a class on reading space, I'll send an invite, she said. Bring the new ones. Bring the old ones too. He looked like he might actually show. Take care, he added, and it carried weight beyond politeness. She stepped into the vestibule. Slick rain cooled the heat in her wrists. The city's neon smeared the lot into watercolor. Out by the curb, the flashing lights had dimmed to a steady pulse. Somewhere north, a canine barked at a man who had finally run out of alleys. Maya tucked the formula into her tote, pulled her hood up, and glanced at her reflection in the dark glass. Gray cotton, tired eyes, a badge no lens had seen. The night had taken its shot and missed. Procedures would get tuned, cameras would be reviewed, a rental Civic would be tagged in a database it would regret. Behind her, voices eased back into ordinary. A cashier laughing with a nurse, a manager apologizing to a grandmother, a child jingling a coin she'd rescued from the floor. In front of her, rain stitched the parking lot into a calm map. Good night, Captain, Ruiz said from the door quietly, for no one with a phone to catch. Good night, Sergeant, Maya answered, and walked into the wet streetlight, a police captain in disguise who had been arrested for larceny by two good cops on a bad night and had helped them keep the story from turning into something worse.